As I walk through this valley in the fog of war, I take a look at my map and pray I don't smoke underwater. Cause mid's been cracking and losing so long that even my mama thinks that this game is done. But I ain't never ganked a mid that didn't deserve it. I'll chat GG'd in a pub, you know that's unheard of. You better watch how you chatting and where you ratting, or you and your teammates might be salving up. I gotta take a trip, so I pop a smoke. As they croak, I cue myself up a magic cloak. Fools, I'm the kind of stuff that little puppers wanna be like. Ganking cores in the night, saying memes in the chat like.
Been spending most our lives living in Ganker's paradise. Been spending most our lives living in Ganker's paradise. Keep spending most our lives living in Ganker's paradise. Keep spending most our lives living in Ganker's paradise.
Look at the situation they got me facing. I can't live a normal life. I was raised by the pub, so I gotta be down with my own scrubs. Too much free to play and watching got me chasing dreams. I'm an educated fool with MMR on my mind. Got my mouse in my hand and a gleam in my eye. I'm a smoked out ganker, point grinded ranker. And my win rate's too low, so don't arouse my anger. Fool, loss ain't nothing but a mistake away. I'm playing pubs, do or die. What can I say? I'm 3K now. Will I live to be above? For the way things is going, I don't know.
Tell me why are we all such newbies? The ones we burn are you and me. Been spending most our lives living in a Ganker's paradise. Been spending most our lives living in a Ganker's paradise. Keep spending most our lives living in a Ganker's paradise. Keep spending most our lives living in a Ganker's paradise.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of It Ain't Gonna Get Any Better Than That, folks.
You feel like what the song?
Yeah. I mean, that's it's gonna be that bad always. Let's be honest.
Well, when we get Juice or Tom, the sound engineer, who's very, very talented, involved, he tends to clean things up a lot and make what is normally very, very shitty, like what you just heard.
Yeah.
Sound,
Magnificent. Yeah.
But studio magic,
Studio magic.
it exists. It's not a fake thing.
Well, this is not studio magic. This is. Do I sound low? Maybe turn me up just a titch.
You were clipping.
Yeah.
It might be
Okay.
your headphones are a little low. There you go. How's
Okay.
that? Is that
Yeah, it's
feeling a
better,
little bit
it's
better? Yeah, good.
This is Defense of the Patients. I'm Cyphus. That's Roland.
Hello.
And we're just a couple of pubbas living in the game.
Couple of pubbas, yeah. Couple of pubbas living in the what on Gaben's green map.
Yeah.
So
all right.
enjoying Dota again.
Yeah, I was gonna say there are a couple of things I want to talk about. I want to talk about how you're enjoying Dota again. I want to talk about my experience going from my 3K account back to my 2K account.
Mm-hmm.
We should do a little, I guess, state of affairs because you're kind of back in the
I'm climbing.
action.
I'm climbing again. Last 4 games, I climbed 170, 150, 125, 150, something like that.
Yeah, I can do the math.
MMR, because they got 2 double down wins and then 3 regular wins. So 75 off those, and then 100.
98 plus 50, 148 you climbed.
148 in 4 games. Feeling super confident. Had a Visage game where I almost got a Rampage. Went 17-11 on Visage. Totally intentional. It's funny because I was like, wow, Visage seems really strong. And then I started watching MDL, and Visage is like getting picked all the time in MDL, Mars Dota League. And I'm like, holy fuck. Like, it was accidental. Like, I was like, Visage is a pusher, and I'm good at Visage. I've always had that in my mind that I'm good at Visage. And I wasn't proven wrong in that game.
I mean, 11's a lot of deaths, but that was a game, looking at the scores for both teams, where everybody was kind of dying. It was a strange lineup on both both
But if you drag the slider, I feel like I died more toward the end. I feel like I feel like my kills stopped happening because Visage reaches a point where his soul assumption isn't doing enough damage. And when you get the double strike, it does a lot, but the double strike is like a random chance thing. Like it doesn't hit the same target twice. It'll just cast it twice on the target you apply it to and some other random target. Unless it's the only target that's in range is the one target you.
So you went from 0-1 to 2-1 to 2-2 to 3-3 to 3-4, and then you had a run where you were 10-4.
10-4. Okay.
Yeah. So you through the mid game you were.
I was killing it, dude. I had Ags, Shiva's Midas at like 24 minutes.
Yeah, Ags, Shiva, Midas, 20, 24, 44.
Yeah, so, and I was feeling good, and everybody was like, so I get in the game as Visage, and of course it's one of those heroes that at the lower levels, they're like, Visage, just don't die. Visage, just don't die. And I died. I was the first one to die. I gave up first blood. And he's like, why did you die there? And it was just like, how do you answer that question? It's like, how a guy chased me past the tier 1 because I stayed in lane because I was way too low health, made a dumb decision, and it died. It's like, is that what you like? How would enough? How would you like me to say that? And then that line was like, you know what? Fuck this guy. I'm gonna play a great Visage. I'm gonna show him like how good this Visage can be. And I went Grave Keeper's Aura, which is your armor, where you turn into the Flying Fortress, as it were, as they call Visage. And Soul Assumption. And just started wrecking people. Axe, I did realize, though, is a humongous counter to Visage because the birds attack super fast, constantly proccing his Helix, and his Helix does damage to birds. When his axe spins, it spins so high that it can cut birds out of the sky. And I thought that was just such bogus. Did you know Enigma's black hole does not suck Visage's birds into it?
I did know that because of a game that you and I were watching.
A game I told you about. This happened. It was bullshit. Our Enigma kept getting these awesome black holes, and then a bird would just bloop, pop on his head and stop. And it's like, okay, so black hole, no. We're creating literally like a change in space-time where even light can't escape, but these birds can fly over it. But Axe calls, and these birds are like, hey, fuck you, man. Don't you fucking taunt me. And then gets chopped out of the sky.
Some of those interactions are a bit weird. I'm with you. That one kind of feels wrong. But
the birds should get black holed. If light can't escape, neither can stone golem birds or whatever.
But at the same time, I mean, it makes Visage an interesting counter to the Enigma, I guess.
It's a weird one. It's one that I've only ever seen the interaction once, and it worked really, really, really well. Where, yeah, I mean, if Visage is okay against Enigma. As far as he can stop the black hole very easily. If Visage has all of his birds around him and gets black holed, all he has to do is click on one of them and press Q. And the bird just goes kablunk, and black hole's over. That's it.
Berserker's Call is stupid overpowered, it feels like, at times.
Berserker's on Troll Warlord?
No, on Axe.
Oh, Berserker's... Oh, yeah, that's what it's called, Berserker's Call.
Yeah.
It's like, you mean call? I didn't know there was an adjective before call.
Yeah, that's the Berserker's Call.
Oh, okay.
He's the Berserker, I believe. Yes.
Well, yeah, Axe Blade Mail is just sucks for most, like...
I ban Axe every game.
Agi cores, right? Like, it does, if you're Slark, you're just pressing Dark Pact the entire time you're called. Oh, please let me Dark Pact before he Culling Blades me. Please, 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 please.
I ban Axe every game. He's the one offlaner that I never want to deal with when I'm playing
he's a
safe
jungler. Lane. He's an offlaner.
But regardless, I don't want to ever have to deal with him. And
strong.
I would rather, because I'm always thinking about it for the most part, I'm thinking about it from the safe lane perspective. My assumption going into every match is I want to play safe lane if it's possible, and I want to deal with an offlaner I'm comfortable dealing with.
Yeah,
I am comfortable dealing with. I would rather have a bristleback. I would rather have. I know how to deal with a bristleback. I know how to deal with a Tidehunter. I know how to deal with just about even a centaur.
Dealing with axe is easy if you know, like, if the axe picks and you've yet to pick your safe lane, because then it's just like...
But he's one of those that if he gets out of control, and he can be so annoying.
You just pick sniper, you pick Luna, you pick heroes that can kite him, you know what I mean? You pick heroes that you're not going to kill yourself on the blade mill.
But even still, he still becomes... regardless, like, you don't always have that luxury of knowing that you're going to be countering an axe, right? Or so I never want to deal with him, and he can do so many. There's so many different ways that you can play him in the off lane, and so many different strategies you can try to do to deny farm and harass. That it's just it's annoying, and
we've been dealing with it since we first started playing Dota.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I remember probably within my first 15 or 20 games, axe cutting the wave.
Yeah.
And being like, that is bullshit. That's going to get patched soon. That there's no way.
That happened to me like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I know, and that still happens. And it's easy to deal with even as a melee core.
Well, I enjoy and that's maybe the way of playing axe that I feel like I can deal with the best, because it's like, all right,
it's controlled.
You're going to get a shitload of farm. I'm going to make sure I get my quell. I'm going to make sure I get my quell as early as possible. I'm going to hit last hit under tower.
Well, you do like loop-de-loops around the tower because you really don't want to tank creeps unless you have like a PMS, and or something like
that. Once you get
like,
PMS quell, I feel like you can pretty much effectively deal with last hitting under tower.
You want double tango. You want a ton of regen, whether that's tango salve or double tango. Like, you need a bunch of regen against axe just because the creeps are going to whittle you down.
Yeah,
because if he does the cut thing,
he too deals with taking a lot of creep damage.
Yeah, he what is his armor? Like, I feel like does he start out with a lot of armor? Axe, Dota 2.
Here, I'll just demo him real quick.
Wiki. Let's see.
So
he starts out with 4.25 HP regen.
He starts out with 2 armor.
But the 4.25 HP regen is insane. That's what allows him to deal with it. 1.86 armor is what he starts out with exactly. And he starts out with pretty high, and he has a pretty high strength gain to it, 2.8. So he starts out with 25 strength.
Oh, see, I show 1.9 in game. I show armor 1.9 plus 1.0.
They probably plus 1.0. Well, are you standing near a tower? Because towers provide armor.
You're right.
It's 1.8, so
right.
It doesn't matter. They probably just round it. They probably don't do 2 decimal points. They just round it to the 10th.
But I mean, he still takes a decent amount of creep damage.
Yeah, he does, and that's why usually when you're doing that cutting the wave axe, you start what we were doing back in the day when we were doing dazzle axe. I would start stout, ring of protection.
So, for instance, I just set and tanked a wave, although I didn't have any starting items, and it took him down to about half health. Tanking that first.
It depends on what if he starts with ring of protection and stout. He's now gone up to 4 armor.
Let's throw on Tortellini's guide here real quick.
Well, Tortellini's guide is not going to be like, cut the wave guide 7.06. It's going to be like axe offlane, axe jungle. I guarantee those are the 2 Tortellini guides that he has.
Let's see. He claims that you start with a stout shield and 2 tangos.
That makes perfect sense. I mean, for if you're gonna play him normal offlane, because he.
But even with that stout shield and 2 tangos, you take a lot of damage those first couple of waves. I still think I think that's the worst way to play axe.
Cutting the wave is the worst way to play axe, but it's also sometimes the worst way to play things are the most fun way to play things.
Yeah, it definitely throws your and I'll admit that when it happens to me, even I get flustered, especially for those first 2 waves. Because I never feel like the first 2 waves are the hardest to last hit under tower. But once you hit,
usually don't have the damage.
Yeah.
You like either you prime it and you do too much damage, or you let it hit 5 times and you don't have enough damage. So it's just that like weird like limbo, like you're not quite in the Goldilocks zone to get a last hit.
But I mean, all that aside, like I'd still rather play against an axe that does that than an axe who just straight up contests me in lane, calling the wave and doing all that massive, ridiculous counter helix damage whenever I'm trying to get a last hit.
That's why you have to you swoop like a seagull, dude, or or like a bird. You swoop like I pictured Jug v Axe, and I just like, ching, whoo. You just
Run in, get the last hit, run back out.
You swoop in and you swoop out. You swoop in and you swoop out. And usually he's pushing the lane. And so it goes to your tower regardless, usually. So dealing with Axe just blows in general. I completely agree. And he's super strong.
And the bonus 40 armor from Berserker's Call is...
But it's for like 4 seconds. But yeah, I mean, it's what makes him the hero he is.
Yeah, it's 2 seconds. So it's not that much. But like that's a fuckload.
Yeah, and it gets even more. And that's why you kill yourself with Blade Mail and whatnot. That's why, when you get called and you're Slark or your Jug or your Anti-Mage or your Troll or your any of those, you're usually at the point where by the time the Berserker's Call ends, he's good to Culling Blade you. Yeah. And that blows, especially if he goes up, he battle hungers you. Like if he calls you, battle hungers you, Blade Mails, and then just spins and spins and spins and spins, you're so fucked. It blows.
Yeah.
And that's why,
That's why I ban him. I just ban him.
I think he's a great hero to ban, just to ban and hope that he
especially
gets
in a pub. Like, I just don't want to get...
He's pub stomp, for sure.
I don't want to get pub stomped by somebody who plays 50% of their fucking games on Axe and runs them off lane. And even the guys who... Even worse are the guys who run him into the jungle, because then...
They come out with like 9-minute blinks.
Yeah, and more often than not what happens is I don't have somebody who's roaming to harass him. I don't have supports. Even playing in 3K games... You still get people who want to jungle or who want to, I don't know, you look at your game that we watched last night, the Kunka game, when you tried to Q snipe Oluwazu.
Yeah.
Which is a story for another day,
yeah.
But, or a story for later. But you had that guy who played Spirit Breaker and demanded Spirit Breaker solo, and he
was a dick and got muted.
And he didn't do shit.
He just stayed like. Okay, I agree with a Spirit Breaker. If he's going to go offlane and not roam, staying in the offlane until level 6.
You know what? I disagree. If you're going to run Spirit Breaker in the offlane, I think if you want him to be like your core offlaner,
if he's going to be a 3, he needs to stay in offlane till level 6. He needs Nether Strike. He needs to be able to really hurt somebody.
Right, but he can't solo like sometimes you can solo a Spirit Breaker because you're playing in a pub and you can get away with that shit. Sometimes.
If you get treads and stout and quell and you play careful, you can get away with getting experience. But not as much.
Like it was way easier to do. It was way easier to do back in the day when shrines were ready to go from minute 1.
Is that back in the day? I think back.
Well,
in the,
that was
like yesterday.
But that was the offlaners' heyday. Was that
I guess so? Yeah.
That shrine nerf was a huge nerf to offlaners.
All it did was
in particular in pubs, it fucks Spirit Breaker doing that solo shit. Which means you shouldn't be running solo. But the cool thing about
the cool thing about Spirit Breaker is he can just TP home and charge right back to lane. He doesn't miss a lot of lane time.
Except that the wave starts closer to the offlane tower, which means odds are you're not getting up there to get a TP scroll. And if you are an offlaner who is hogging the courier, then you're a douchebag and you're hurting your mid and you're hurting your safe.
Look, I'm just playing devil's advocate.
No, I know, but I mean, like, let's get this out
here. I think Spirit Breaker is a 4. I strongly believe Spirit Breaker is a 4.
But if you want to run him as a 3, I still think the most effective strategy is you're a weird roaming 3. I think you dual lane.
No, then you're just a 4. If you want him to be a 3, he needs level 6.
But I think you can dual
just like Tidehunter needs level 6. Just like Enigma needs level 6.
I agree with Tidehunter, but the Nether Strike is
you can't call him a 3 and say he needs the roam. He's a 4.
No, but what I'm saying is you're a 3 who has way more mobility earlier on. Meaning, if you want him to be getting farm and be a farming Spirit Breaker, I'm okay with that. But
he doesn't need much farm. He needs experience.
Right, but if you're running him, so running him as a solo offlane, running him as a 3 means you're going to have situations where you could get a kill mid if you charged, but you're not going to charge because you're then at that point abandoning your enemy's safe lane,
and you're hoping
so that they can completely farm up.
Well, here's the trade-off. What you're not taking into account is who is the 4 if he's the 3. So if he's the 3 and he could get a kill mid. Couldn't the 4 as well? Our 4 Ricky? Or our 4,
But that lockdown, that guaranteed lockdown from the Spirit Breaker is way, and plus the possibility of a bash. Like, I don't think Spirit Breaker, in order to gank, even if you are running him as a 3, he doesn't need Nether Strike to successfully participate in a gank. In fact, you're better if you are going to be running Spirit Breaker like that.
He doesn't need it to successfully, but it's going to add to his success if he does have Nether Strike.
In your Spirit Breaker Ricky combo, like, I like that. All right, let's say we're running Ricky as the 4, Spirit Breaker is the 3. We've got a Crystal Maiden 5 down in the safe lane. She's supporting a Juggernaut, and we've got our Sniper mid, okay? In that situation, the beauty of having that Ricky up there is
rough lineup.
The Ricky creates that like pressure, and you and I were talking about pressure earlier today, but Ricky creates that pressure, and he can be establishing that pressure without actually being in the off lane. He can roam, get set up, charge comes down, and yeah, you are rotating your 3 to get a gank on the mid, but you're still trading up, right? You're still trading your 3 for your 2. Or your 3's time for their 2's time. You're still, you know what I mean? Like, I still think that's more valuable than him being stagnant.
But you're saying that
6.
for 100% he's going to get a kill, and that's just an assumption you can't make.
But more often than not, you are.
More often than not, you're going to get a kill with Nether Strike, his ultimate ability. And why is he solo offlane? For experience, not for gold. For experience.
But he's such a shit solo offlaner.
Well, I'm trying to make an argument for him to be less of a shitty solo offlaner. Disclaimer, I don't think Spirit Breaker's a solo offlaner.
I guess I just
but I'm saying if he is going to be a solo offlaner, he can hit level 6 by like 7 minutes, 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And then he abandons ship and then starts charging everywhere, Nether Striking, and I want him to as a mid. I'll do-si-do and I'll trade farm.
I guess my whole thing being, he's not going to get farm unless there are 2 of them up there. And if he's not going to get farm and he's just up there to sap XP...
So what does Spirit Breaker need?
He's basically a 4. Like, at that point, you have 2 4s on your team.
But he's not doing what a 4 does.
Right. Even worse. Even worse is that now you have 2 4s on your team. One of them isn't getting any farm, and now you have no offlaner getting any farm.
In definition. Tidehunter also can very easily... Like, I think of, like, Core Silencer versus a Tidehunter. So you have a Core Silencer... Say you have a Silencer Crystal Maiden safe lane versus a Tidehunter on the opposing team as the off lane. Tidehunter ain't going to be doing shit in that lane other than getting experience. Tidehunter does not want to leave that lane until he hits level 6. Same thing with Spirit Breaker. If he goes up against that same lane, he's going to go around, get ready to charge if he has to, charge away for his safety, and try and get level 6.
I guess he could work that way, but only in a pub.
He has worked that way. He has been played as solo offlane. In pro games, I mean, he's been played as solo offlane.
But not recently.
No, not recently.
Not in...
A lot of heroes have been like shifted down to the 4 level that I would have never thought were 4s. Like Spirit Breaker.
And I don't know. I'd love for people to weigh in.
Like,
I don't remember him. I don't remember him being solo offlane. I wonder where people are running him. I'm gonna pull that up real quick. That'd be
Dota Buffett. I'm sure he's ran in the offlane.
Oh, I'm sure. In pubs, you bet. Well, I mean, people love doing that. I mean, hell, we saw it, and saw it in yours. And yeah, he can do it sometimes. 58% in the off lane.
Yeah. His presence is 58% and his win rate is the highest, or not the highest in the off lane. It's the highest in the mid lane, which I'm guessing that is more of that is some roaming in there too. But his roaming presence is
what
lowest.
I would kill for? I would kill for the lane presence statistic in Dota buff to also have a sort by skill level. Like, I would love to know what 1 to 2K is doing, what 2 to 3K is doing, 3 to 4, 4 to 5. I'd love to see where
I bet
his
some smart
presence
person out there is like, there is a way you can do that if you set these and this, and you guys analyze stats in this way.
You guys let me know. All right. So let's do quick state of affairs. All right. I am sitting at exactly 3,000 MMR.
I saw you at 28.
That is my
50.
I'm going off of international ranked, sir.
Oh, okay.
I'm close to locking that in. That's going to be my solo for sure.
Okay.
That account will be. Yeah, I think I hit like 20. Is it 2856? Is that what it is?
2850 exactly. I thought is what it was.
Here, I can pull it. I'll pull it up real quick.
But congratulations on 3,000.
2851. So I'm sitting at 3,000 exactly. Yes, admittedly on international ranked. I think I'm at like 25 or 26 games.
You need 40.
Need 40, so I'm gonna get those 14 more before we go to TI.
You'll totally get those 14 more.
Yeah, I've been getting enough. I've been getting enough time.
Just go 7 and 7, you'll be 3K. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I just got to maintain 50%.
You go 8 and 6, you'll be 3.025.
That's right.
Yeah, so
that's the plan. So I'm working on solidifying that. It's been so. All right, if the heroes have been playing, I guess to complete the like old fashioned, state of affairs. I've been primarily still playing safe lane. My hero pool is, I'd say it's somewhat varied. My versatility is only a 3-2-7, but that feels kind of wrong. I won't lie. So of recently, I've run Wraith King in the safe lane. I've run Juggernaut in the safe lane. Anti-Mage, Life Stealer, Luna, Sven, PA. I think that's about my pool there.
What's your core to support role or difference?
I could probably pull that up in Dota buff, right?
Yeah.
Let's see. Sorry, I had to open Dota open.
Dota open Dota?
Open Dota open Dota.
Dota open?
79% core, 21%
Dude, that is
support.
exactly me. I'm 71% core, 29% support. Isn't that what you said?
Yeah. And of my core breakdown, it's 68% safe lane, 24% off lane, and I have 7% of my games being mid.
Weird, dude. I'm like 40% mid lane, 30% safe lane, 20% jungle, 14% off lane.
I have 0%
roaming.
jungle and 0% roaming.
I have 3% roaming.
At least on that account.
And then supporting,
18% roaming on support.
I have 14% jungle and supporting too.
Oh my god.
And 7% mid lane supporting. And 40.
I am 0% jungle on everything.
Huh. I like the jungle.
I do not jungle. But so when I'm playing offlane lately, dude, I'm playing Abaddon.
He's so strong.
He is so dumb to play. People don't. You know what amazes me is even still at 3K, there are people who will say to me something like, I watched a guy get Mirana arrowed the other day, and I threw my aphotic shield on him. And he wasn't stunned anymore. He was sitting still. And I was like, dude, move. You're free. And he's like, no, I'm stunned by the Mirana arrow. And I said, no, I purged that off of you. And then we had this conversation about, like, how did you do that? And I was like, aphotic shield. It purges shit. It's awesome. It's the best skill ever. And I realized I love aphotic shield for whenever you get caught by Warlock, especially Warlocks who have, like, level 1 upheaval. You can temporarily, so you can run, and when you feel the slow starting to kick in, aphotic shield yourself, the slow's gone, and you can kind of reduce it and get out of it a lot faster. So I've just been finding new interactions with aphotic shield's purge and all of these various abilities. I mean, I've known that it does it, but putting it into action has been a lot of fun, and he's a blast to play. Because he can turn into a pretty fierce, and not like a late game right clicker, but he's, nothing to scoff at in the late game. You can definitely do some pretty amazing things with him when all is said and done. So, that's what I'm doing. Off lane Abaddon, playing safe lane, and I support when I gotta. And, why not?
I'm doing whatever the fuck, dude.
That's what you're doing? Where are you at MMR wise?
2643. That is not international. I'm taking it a little more seriously though. Like, as in I care if I win.
Yeah.
And it's going well. I've won my last 4. What I'm trying to pay attention a lot to is just picking the right thing. And I'm not even using Dota Picker. I'm trying to use my own brain. Because Dota Picker often leads me down a road of thinking that I'm good at a hero that I'm absolutely not good at. And it's like, oh man, Pugna has like a 15% advantage over these guys. I'm going to play Pugna. And it's like, dude, you're a terrible Pugna. You don't know how to play Pugna.
The last time you played Pugna was X months ago.
With you, I played Pugna. It probably wasn't that long ago.
That's right. I remember that Pugna.
Because I get, yeah. And so, I've been playing heroes that I find fun. Vengeful Spirit, I find fun. Visage, I find fun. Gunka, that was a random, but that was an awesome random.
Yeah. Well, we were also goofing off. We almost recorded we talked about how we should have recorded the show last night whenever we were drinking beer. And so the story goes, I've been logging in intending to play a solo game. Then I get sidetracked by something, or something comes up, or I log into Dota. My shtick of late has been to watch Dota games while I'm eating, and I've been just watching Wazoo's games because on that account I'm friends with like just you and Wazoo and maybe like 2 or 3 other people tops. So, and he's been on a big Dota kick lately. So I logged into.
So you play for the Dodgers. You're just somebody who doesn't have a lot of fans, then, or something
That's
like
right.
that.
Yeah.
Or, I guess if you want to use that analogy.
Well, no. When I'm on the other account, I've been good about accepting and playing with people. It's been.
I have literally been so non-existent. Sorry about Discord. Sorry about all means of communication.
Well, since I've been sitting at your rig here for the last 20 minutes, you've been invited to like 30 parties, and I've had to decline them all. So they all think that that's you declining right now.
At least I'm living up to my
your reputation.
Reputation, yeah.
But I mean, you that Kunka game was good. I
was honestly nice to have the backseat driver. And I'm not, and I guess a backseat driver has a bad connotation. It's usually like I hate backseat drivers, but then he backseat drove my Kunka game. I wasn't going to get X marks, told me to, because he's like, you can get a kill with it, and I ended up getting a kill with it right after he said that, and I was like, oh, okay.
Well, it's a drow. Like, because what do you want to do with a drow? You got a charger.
But the biggest weakness, I think we can both agree in that Kunka game, is I am not perfect yet with my X mark pulling into torrent.
Yeah, but that's fuck. I couldn't do that. I have no. I
hit a couple, but I was good at the X marks boat. Yeah. Like I have the boat timing down way better than I have the torrent timing down, which is like weird because the boat is like
torrent's a crazy cast time. Like,
are you talking about range or
no? The range was I was surprised to see the range because I mean I haven't played maybe I've never played Kunka.
Wow.
I may have never played a Kunka game. I'm pretty sure I haven't.
Wow. He's fun. He's really fun.
Watching
built-in cleave.
Yo,
you know what I mean?
The cleave, his cleave. I was telling you, I've been getting my ass kicked by Kunkas lately. Like
Tidebringer will bring you down, man.
dual off lanes with a Kunka have been the bane of my existence, no matter where I'm playing.
Like a forward Kunka in the off lane?
Like just a semi-support kind of a Kunka in the off lane who just runs up every time he's got fucking Tidebringer and cleaves.
So that's not a forward. Usually forward Kunka is like 2 points in X mark. Like by level 3, it's like 2 points in X mark, 1 point in torrent. Because as you level X mark, the longer the range it is.
Yeah. Well, I think they're playing him semi-core-ish. I mean, this is a pub, so God only knows.
Ursi knows forward Kunka really well. I know that I've seen Ursi play, and it's impressive. Like he hits the timing every single time when he X marks somebody and pulls them back to torrent them, and then we'll also throw a boat in. Is
Kunka like a solid mid again?
I would say that he's a good mid. I don't know. I mean, Jekyll, for instance, I was playing a game with some dot peeps, and Jekyll was like, I want to get my Kunka challenges done. I was like, cool, you can play him as a 4. He's like, no, I'd prefer to play him as a mid. So I think he's either a mid or a 4.
So Kunka is 22nd in popularity right now.
Because of the shark.
He is a 47.9% win rate overall.
Okay.
And his lane presence is crazy. 37% in the mid lane, 29% in the off lane, 27% in the safe lane, with his best win rate being in the mid lane at 48.45.
Yeah, but I know that a lot of these like just aren't showing roaming well enough.
But he's just that's still crazy. It's still crazy to see his lane presence be that diverse.
I mean, he's a support. Like if you look at like this trending guide as of 2 days ago, I mean, he's getting Arcanes, he's getting Urn, he's getting Force, he's getting Pipe of Insight. He's playing very much so a support. If we look at more guides here, it's like every Kunka you see is playing support.
Roaming, support. Yeah.
It's pretty rare to see the Kunka that builds,
I have to go to page 2 to see the first core Kunka, and it's a safe lane Kunka.
Yeah, his legendary.
Oh, and he still looks like he's building kind of support. Actually, he's safe lane support. Never mind.
Wow,
safe lane support.
But he gets a 30-minute data list. Yeah. It's definitely when you see him in safe lane, it's definitely because of support. He's good at. I mean, X is a great way to
chase a hero.
Yeah, it's the perfect way because they're just like everybody naturally wants to run. and it's kind of like Naga
Well, and
sleep.
you have the ability to decide when to pull them back.
Yeah, it's
meaning
like-
you can wait till people are in position.
It's Naga sleep. It's Naga sleep, except you can attack even while it's running away because you have a bunch of time to set up, and then you pull back. Just like with Naga sleep, you can end it when you want to, type thing. When everybody's in position.
No,
Naga sleep.
I totally. He's like he's this
He's
weird
a cool hero.
He almost is. He's almost disruptor-ish, in that.
Yeah, and especially if you can hit your torrents and hit your boats. Rum is something that is super cool. How it works. And his Aghanims is cool. And he's just a polarizing hero in my opinion. I think that's why you're seeing him at 22nd in popularity. One, because he just got the shark upgrade from all the people who got the compendium, and that is a very cool cosmetic.
Yeah.
Or it's not even cosmetic. It is a cosmetic,
yeah.
but it's a cool ability change.
Yeah.
And I feel like
And
there's
his taunt.
I haven't seen his taunt.
Oh, where he does the Jolly Rogers dance.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, I see that bullshit all the fucking time now.
I don't taunt. I don't do like, it's a disaster.
Yeah, I don't do that either.
Patience from Zoe, and like I hear it all the time.
Wow.
Or
Wow.
yeah, like I am so sick of it. But people love it. Even Wazoo came over today and he's like, dude,
hope that stays.
they should keep that. That is just it's so good.
I assume they're going to.
No, everything ends September 1st.
Even the chat wheel stuff?
Oh yeah, it's all ending, dog.
Oh.
It's gone.
Okay. Oh my.
So my like $500 or however much I put into getting to level 1000, I get a metal Aegis.
You get a courier as well, with a bunch of upgrades on it.
Cool.
Get the Octarine shell on your courier. You get some premium player card packs. You can build the best dream team ever.
Dude, you can throw those in the garbage for me because I'm not going to open them one by one. I have like 150 card packs. You think I'm going to open any of those?
I mean, maybe.
No. I didn't last year. I didn't TI5. I didn't TI4. I'm not going to for TI7.
I've done it a couple times now.
Well, the thing is, I remember you were doing it last year, and you were like, I want to get home and change like my predictions and stuff. And it's like, dude, we're in Seattle. Like, we're not going to, you may have changed
last
them
year,
a couple
no,
times.
I couldn't. Yeah, I did it a couple times. I had to set them up way in advance, and I was like, that team got knocked out, and I had them go, because I had to set them way in advance. Like, I had to basically predict who was going to be.
Do you want to play Nostradamus time?
Nostradamus time.
Yeah, and predict who's gonna win
who's gonna win
TI. And we can't even look at the 18 teams. The 18 teams invited.
Oh, come on.
No, you can't even look at who's invited. You just have to like.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna say this.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that Planet Dog. I know that they got invited. I would say I don't know if they're an underdog or not. Funny. But I'm gonna say that they take second place.
Okay.
Right now. I'm going to say Planet Dog takes second place. These guys are running on, this is their first big event. They're super stoked. I bet they're taking it fucking, not that other teams aren't taking it serious, but they're running on pure hype is a certain thing.
That could also work against them. It could turn into super nervousness.
I don't even know any players' names on Planet Dog. I'll tell you that much, but I'm just going to go ahead and say that. No, I don't really even care. But I'm going to say they're going to take second place.
Okay.
I'm going to say OG is once again going to go out in like a ridiculously low place. Like
No, I you know what? I hope not.
I hope not too.
I hope OG wins it.
I hope they win.
Yeah.
But I'm Nostradamusing right now, dude.
Okay.
I'm going to say they go out before top 12. I'm going to say they go out like 14th.
I have to look at
I'm going to say 14th through 16th OG gets knocked out. They're going to have a super poor performance at TI.
I'm going to run you through the teams.
I know that. Let me see how many teams I can get. Okay, before you do.
Okay.
Evil Geniuses, Team Secret, Planet Dog, OG, Liquid, NP. There's 6. Then we've got. Let's think of some Chinese teams. We've got LGD Vitality.
IG Vitality.
Or IG Vitality. Thank you. We have an LGD in there.
2 LGDs.
2 LGDs, that's 9. That's half. That's
You're
half.
not even going to try to figure out what they are. LGD Gaming and LGD Forever Young.
Forever Young. Okay, we've got Team Secret. Did I already say that?
Yep.
Okay. We got 9 more teams that are invited.
You got Fnatic.
Oh, then you've got, sorry, I know. You got Fnatic, you've got TNC, you've got, I wasn't thinking of SEA. You've got, those are the SEA teams because Faceless didn't make it. I know there's 3.
I'm sad that Faceless didn't make it.
Execration didn't make it.
Execration did.
Oh, okay. Yep, that's why I said them.
That's why you said
Okay,
them.
just go ahead and give the 18 teams.
Infamous from South America.
Oh, yeah.
You missed Digital Chaos from NA. Virtus Pro, you missed them.
I don't like the Ruskies.
Yeah.
I especially don't like Ramses 666.
Okay.
I don't like that guy at all.
Invictus Gaming.
And they're whining about how they
Newbie.
had a terrible attitude, and they're like, that's bullshit that we were portrayed in a terrible way. And it's like, no, you were portrayed in a terrible way because you acted in a terrible way.
Black would disagree with you.
Really?
Yes. Black.
Well, then I changed my opinion immediately.
Black would disagree with
if
you.
Black would disagree with me, then there's no way.
On that one-on-one with Black, we talked about that specifically because there was a lot of controversy over some team comms that Black had like years ago.
Okay.
And
let's dive in this tangent for like 3 more minutes.
Okay, so Black's comment was, you, especially when you're competitive, he's like, think about every pub game you've been in where you've been mad at somebody. Imagine now that you're in a heated tournament situation with guys you know very well, and you're very concerned with losing. And yes, maybe the Russians are a little bit more aggressive than other teams are, and you're in that moment, and you're having a hard time. You're having a bad time.
Here's what I would have liked. When I first watched it, I had no judgments at all toward VP. I was like, yeah, of course. They're in a tournament environment. OG manages their team differently than VP manages their team.
Yeah.
Art Style's been in the scene forever. Art Style is infamous, or not infamous. He's famous. He's good. He's a good coach. And I watched the True Sight, and I enjoyed the shit out of it and didn't think any ill feelings toward them. What started my ill feelings toward VP was the way that they whined about it after. I feel like they should have just been like, yeah, that's how we are.
But imagine how long was that True Sight? Like 30 minutes?
Yeah, it was like 35 minutes. And it didn't just, maybe it just chronicled those two. I'm not sure.
But regardless, you get painted, editing, you can do a lot with editing.
Oh, I know that.
And when you are building, I get the I guess what I'm saying is, and
they built a good story.
I don't have an opinion.
It was
either
like
way.
Good guys versus bad guys.
Right.
I liked it.
Right, they built a narrative, and
whatever. Even if it wasn't that way,
edited to support that narrative.
Even if it wasn't that way, VP should have been like, it wasn't that way. We're actually fun guys, or even if they were just like enjoyed the True Sight, whatever, like. Thank you to our fans.
Imagine,
I don't know. I guess
you
it's hard.
Feel a little like jaded. Imagine you feel a little jaded by it too, because it's not like it's.
I guess my argument is so straw man right now.
Well,
I can sense that my argument is bullshit. No, I agree that if I were them, I would be pissed. But as an outsider, I can't put myself in their shoes, and so I'm like, quit whining about it. Like, it was fine. But if I were misportrayed like in front of millions of people, I'd probably be upset.
Even more so by Valve.
I'd be upset too. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
And you feel trusted by the organization that runs this, and all of a sudden you feel semi backstabbed. And there's cultural differences and whatnot. Yeah. Okay.
And I'm not saying that. Okay. And I'm not even saying that cultural differences excuse.
I feel like I changed my own mind. I feel like I literally you didn't even change my mind at all. I feel like I just changed my own mind. I would be upset, but I feel like it could have been like one statement where it's like, look, we also had positive moments that weren't shared. We feel like the editing was to portray us in a poor light and to portray OG in a positive light. The end. Signed, the manager of VP. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't need to be like a giant Reddit spectacle. And I am so sick of Reddit spectacles where it's like pitchforks, things to bitch about, things that I can feverishly type my opinions about. Like, Valve, hello, if anybody's listening, take control. Don't let Reddit have control. You should take control.
Yeah.
Be proactive, not reactive.
Well,
Be proactive.
Well, I guess I semi-disagree in that, like, of course people are going to respond to something like that going on.
How many things could they have been proactive to in the 3 years we've been chronicling
how
Dota 2?
How do they be proactive about, like, they released it, and that was the public response to it?
The managers were trying to get a hold of Valve before, and they wanted to pre-screen it. As Valve, let them pre-screen it. Be proactive. Let them pre-screen it. Let everybody pre-screen it that's involved in it.
But are you going to change it? Like, you know what I mean?
No, but at least you're proactive and you say, you know what? Fuck it. We don't care. And then Valve can release a statement saying, we pre-screened it.
I think that one's a lose-lose. I think that one's semi-lose-lose for Valve.
I would have rather gotten, it would have been awesome to see 2 threads on Dota2blog.com run by Valve on Dota2blog or whatever.com. That's just like Reddit, but it's ran by Valve. Having the top 2 threads being Valve saying, we let everybody screen it and we said we're going to go through with it anyway. Sorry you agreed to it. And then the second one being, we felt like we were misrepresented. You know what I mean? And like, that's great. Like, it would be awesome if Valve would have let them pre-screen it. And then, you know, maybe they would have been okay with it after the and then if they pre-screened it. Maybe the Ruskies would have been like, I think it's fine. Yeah, we were heated for sure. I think it's fine. And then when the people came out and are like, the VP are a bunch of dicks, then they wouldn't have had a leg to stand on because they already pre-screened it and okayed it. And now everybody's backlashing.
So in your argument, the VP might be upset because of the response of the community.
VP's upset. Maybe that
as opposed to their own individual opinions
yeah,
about how they were portrayed.
They very well could have been upset because of the public backlash. And if they pre-screened it, Valve would have been covered, which is a proactive thing to do instead of the reactive of Valve.
Except that there's also this world wherein Valve lets them pre-screen it, and they're very upset and vocal about it before it even gets released.
And then Valve goes and changes
Valve's
it.
the villain. Because then Valve's the villain.
Good. They should at least take the responsibility for it.
I'm just saying, like, from an organization's standpoint, like,
and no, they can put out so many, because what's happening in the Dota 2 scene are these teeny little sparks, right, that are everywhere, and every once in a while one of them catches on fire. If Valve were there to just put out each little spark just easily, dude, they need like one guy paying like part-time $10 an hour. You know what I mean? They could proactively handle a lot of things, my opinion. Find a drama.
I disagree.
Find a drama and tell me they couldn't have proactively done something.
So the only thing they could like, if you're talking about like truly,
I'm talking proactive PR.
You're talking about truly dousing
public
drama
relations.
in particular. So one, Valve's only public relations that they're ever going to care about is Valve's image.
Yeah.
Right? Who gives a shit about... If I'm Valve, I don't give a shit about your player images. I don't give a shit about the individual teams or anything that's going on with their PR, because that doesn't impact... that. I mean, yes, you can make the argument it does impact me somewhere down the line if it impacts the scene.
Let's talk about the ones that have impacted Valve directly. Too Good. Impacted the way Valve looked. And you know what? Valve reacted. They reacted.
Right, but that's also a little hard to...
In a dumb way. In a dumb fucking way. Gaben, a guy that we just meme about, right? It's if it weren't Gabe, it'd be somebody else. It's not like... Who knows if Gabe even touches Dota 2 or not? Like, we don't really know that much, like, his involvement in Dota 2. We just say it's Gaben this, Gaben that. Please, Gaben, give us this. But for Gabe Newell to come out on Reddit and say the words that I'm sure everybody still has memorized was immature and reactive and made Valve's image worse. It was a public relations disaster, in my opinion. Him doing that, calling a personality an ass, is a public relations disaster. And if I was working PR for Valve, I would be like, don't you dare send that, you drunk bastard. You're drunk on your couch and you're mad and you're sending something that you should wait until the morning to send. It's one of those emails that you want to send to your boss.
Because you know what?
And then you wait.
I mean, I guess it depends on the PR person. I'm putting myself like with the minor amount of PR training that I've had.
Which I have the same minor amount of PR training that you've had.
If I'm looking at that, and it depends on what you want your image to be, right? And I think what Valve, I think to
Does Gaben's image want to be that of lame, pithy, fucking trivial...
and I think on the flip side, I could very easily make the argument that it was edgy and honest.
I don't like edgy, and I don't think Valve should be edgy. Okay, so Valve goes from radio silence to edgy and honest. Either be edgy and honest all the time, or be silent all the time. Pick something.
No, because you can pick edgy and honest to deal with one PR situation.
I think
which is
what would have been better.
And also, do not forget that part of the issue that they were having with Too Good is that there was a potential that they were violating some very strict Chinese broadcasting laws.
Absolutely. I know. But what could have happened
a concern.
is...
And, like, that's a scary thing. Maybe even a scary thing for Too Good.
For sure. Official Valve Reddit account, okay, responds and makes a post and says, Dakota Coddle Guy Cox will now be the host for the remaining time for Shanghai. We thank Too Good for all that he has done. Too Good has done a very good job. But was not jiving with what we thought, blah, 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 PR.
I can see, to a degree. I'm with you. That's the more
that
professional way to handle it.
That was the way more professional way of handling that.
And part of their issue was that they wanted it to be more professional, and then they didn't really handle it in a very
And they could have
professional
just
way.
easily said, Dakota Coddle Guy Cox will be taking over. Thank you to James Too Good
But
for all he's done.
at the same time, we also don't know what all went down behind the scenes. Because
Yes, we do. Yes, we do from his blog. James Too Good released a blog. We know everything that went down. From his perspective. From his perspective.
Right. We don't know what kind of an interaction maybe Too Good had.
Do you want to play it out real quick? I'm Gabe Newell and I own Steam and he's misrepresenting us. I'm going to get on Reddit.
That's an assumption, sir.
Yes,
That's
it is.
an assumption because you know what
But you're making assumptions about Spirit Breaker not being a fucking level 6. I can make assumptions.
Okay, here's because I'm going to say this. I can see Roland Newell. Okay?
Yeah, Roland Newell would be mad.
I can see Roland Newell being.
But I've even learned within .p not to do these broad stroking. Because at the start, I would get mad about something and be like, "This is fucking bullshit. This is never happening again." And everybody would be like, "Yo, dude, like just don't do that anymore. Just like if you need to like complain, just complain to me. Don't complain to everybody."
But I stopped. I could see you.
That's not 12 million people.
All right.
That's like, 10,000, 15, 20,000.
And I'm two Cyphus, okay? And I'm out there making...
I wouldn't have hired you because I wouldn't have. Because if you're
popular though with the memesters, okay? I'm popular with a crowd that you'd like to attract.
Coddle Guy is also equally as popular, and I know he's going to do a professional job. Why take a gamble on Too Good when I know Coddle Guy...
Because Too Good's done good things for the scene, and a lot of people still credit Too Good with like how they got paid, like how personalities getting paid for running Valve events.
Does that mean he needs to be in front of a camera? No.
I mean,
no.
But it doesn't. It also doesn't mean that he shouldn't be.
Look at his previous appearances. Are you and especially if you're going to say be yourself? Like I'm advocating for Too Good here, and I know that this is an old conversation, but like they're saying, "Hey, Too Good, be yourself." Go look at all the Too Good stuff of him being himself.
But my point being. So I'm just saying, I can see you, for instance, so in that situation where, like, maybe there's an interaction we didn't hear, right? Maybe there's an interaction where
for sure.
he says to Roland Newell, "Go fuck yourself."
I would be super upset.
And you say, "Go fuck me." No, go fuck you. And you hop on Reddit and you make a post.
I wouldn't do that. I would not do that.
You never know what happens in a heat of the moment situation.
I am in the heat of a moment situation every single day.
I know.
I what are you talking about?
Okay, I don't know. I'm just trying to. Your
analogy sucks. Your fake pretend universe sucks because I am in a state of being pissed off at somebody every single day.
You're right.
But I never ever make that public to .p's community. There's no point. It is just, it's throwing gasoline on a fire I'm trying to put out.
Yeah.
It's like, meanwhile, Valve's firefighters are there trying to be like, Dakota Coddle Guy Cox is taking over, it's all good. And Gabe Newell is like, my authority will be heard on Reddit.
I don't think it was necessarily that. I think
What is it then? If people lobbied for him and I agreed to it, I didn't think he was going to do good. He's an ass and we won't be working with him. What is that? That's an authoritative response saying, you will respect me.
Right. And for the guy who owns the company.
Sure. But guess what? I own Defense of the Patients.
I know.
And I would look like an ass. I would look like an ass if I did that.
But I'm saying maybe I'm saying it's a mistake that maybe should be forgiven. That maybe it's a heat of the moment, like it's a dumb move.
Well, it's the middle management, everything goes Seattle attitude in that you need a fucking hierarchy. You need PR. You need to speak with your community or it's going to shrivel and die. Just like dragons. I'm rewatching Game of Thrones Season 6, getting ready for Season 7. And dragons used to range over hundreds of miles.
Oh, no.
But dragons will die in captivity, okay? Let our community range over hundreds of miles.
Okay.
Talk to us. Be proactive, Valve. Anyway, 18 teams that were invited to TI. And then we'll go from there.
All right, my personal predictions for who wins there.
Okay.
is I think
I
China,
haven't said a winner yet.
I think China's going to get shut out. And I think this is going to finally be the year that we establish the OG as the proverbial New York Yankees of Dota.
It would be cool to see.
And because you know what? Because then I would like for them to win this, because if they win this, henceforth everybody's coming at them,
Anna
and
is
they
so
get a
good.
target on their back.
And their games are going to be analyzed and watched,
and everybody will benefit from that. If OG
They
wins this
already are,
TI,
but, yeah.
everybody benefits from OG winning this TI more so than the majors. It's already impressive with the majors.
4
You
out of 5.
solidify it, yeah.
80% win rate at majors.
You solidify it
I don't
with
even
a
have that
TI.
in pubs, dude.
Yeah.
I have an 80% win rate in majors.
You
All right.
solidify that with a TI, and suddenly it's not going to be about prepping for everything. It's going to be about prepping for OG. It's going to be fuck it, because if I can beat OG, I can beat anybody. And that's how people are going to start prepping, and that is going to make for some of the best Dota ever, because OG, who are incredible, are going to have to be that much better every time to potentially hold on. And if
Okay.
they hold on, all the better for us.
Your top 4.
I'm going to go OG, Liquid, EG, and just for the fuck of it, I'll say Infamous. I'd love to see a South American team, like, as much shit as the South American like region gets. I mean, they're only getting one team.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
For
It'd be
sure.
fun to see. But that, I don't know that that's a legit. More realistically, probably VP.
Okay. Roladamus
Okay.
says, and this is with no basis at
Okay,
all.
no basis.
This is with
Yeah.
really no argument or no legs to stand
Same
upon.
here.
But I'm Roladamus, and I'm writing down in my journal things
That's
that will
right.
happen in the future of Dota 2. Team Secret finally wins an international.
Oh man.
Planet Dog takes second.
Okay.
Liquid takes third, beating EG,
Mhm.
taking fourth.
Okay, 3 European teams all at the top.
Yeah.
I think you're right. Like, I think Europe is going to dominate this.
I think Planet Dog is going to surprise everybody. And that's just
Maybe so.
Roladamus. That's just Roladamus.
Maybe so.
That's just Roladamus coming in saying Planet Dog kicked some serious ass. They were top seed, and Roladamus is saying that they won't clinch it, not clinch it. They will be clinching it. But they won't clinch it. And
So
Secret's gonna win.
33 or 3-3. I don't know how he goes. Or what he
I don't
goes
even
by.
know who that is.
I haven't listened to Breaky.
Who is
He was
that?
on Breaky's show on Friday.
Sure, I don't listen to the show.
He's the
who's
offlaner
that?
for Planet Dog.
No, I'm just joking. I knew all of that.
Swift Ending, Kaiser,
I'm away
Milan,
all the
and
time.
J4.
I travel all the time. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
No, you weren't there for any of the Breaky recordings this week.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Or for putting any of it together. You have 114 unopened premium packs.
Yeah, I told you. I probably had like 150. Fuck those.
Dude.
Can you trash them?
No. I mean,
Why do I want those?
because it's fun to do the fantasy league.
If you're like not me,
It gets you more involved. I'll be honest, it got me more involved. Like, it was kind of fun.
I'm okay.
Try it.
I'm all right.
I challenge you to try it.
Is that my challenge this week?
No, I don't care if you tried it or not. Really.
No, I've so far received a challenge each
Yeah,
week.
I mean, all right, yeah. I challenge you to. Well, no, that is not your challenge this week. We're going to do it the week before TI. We'll both do
Okay,
it.
what's my challenge this week?
To play no more than 2 lanes and no more than 2 heroes in both of those lanes.
Whoa, so I can only
No
play
more than 2
4
positions
heroes?
and no more than 2 heroes.
Okay,
in those
what
positions.
heroes?
I leave that up to you.
No.
I leave that.
No, I
entirely
don't
up
want
to you.
that up to me.
Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna really try to like play to your strengths.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that you are either playing Storm Spirit or Sniper mid,
Okay.
and
Storm Spirit and Sniper. Okay. I'm not feeling super good on Storm, but I feel good on Sniper.
And I know Jug for safe lane.
Okay. You're gonna have to throw support in there. Because there's no way, like, I want to stick to this.
Okay.
You're gonna have
Okay.
to throw.
All right, then we're just gonna focus on because I'm playing.
I'm not
safe
gonna
lane.
get mid and safe lane every single time.
Yeah, we're just gonna focus on mid and support. All right,
Okay.
let's go mid and support. So mids. So
I have to play Storm Spirit or Sniper in the mid lane,
That's right.
and then what supports?
Let's say.
Please be Rasta man.
All right, let's say Witch Doctor and Rubik.
Fuck Witch Doctor and Rubik, dude. I don't want to play Witch Doctor. Witch Doctor's Garbo, dude.
All right. How about Rubik and Venge?
I'm gonna lose a lot of MMR playing Rubik.
Are you?
Yeah.
You don't play much Rubik?
No.
Oh, you should.
Well, not in rank.
Especially you.
I'm not.
Especially you.
Go because I know all the skills. That doesn't mean I'm a good Rubik.
But it means you'll utilize those skills to the best of your ability.
Maybe. Or maybe I'll just suck and die like 29 times as
All right,
Rubik.
how about Ogre and Venge?
Okay.
Ogre and Venge.
Ogre, Venge, Sniper, Storm.
Yeah.
I could do that.
All right, that'll be your challenge.
I can do that.
We're like way late into the show, aren't we?
No.
'Cause we're like
We're at an hour, but it is like... It is one
a
layer of
sweat
hell
lodge
in here.
Yeah, it is a sweat lodge. This is
man.
we're in a podcast sweatshop.
Yep.
That's what we're in.
We
right now.
literally are. Okay.
Okay. Well, I was gonna get to other bullshit, but like we've gone long enough from our nonsense. Next week we'll talk. I do want to talk the difference in attitudes with the 2K and the 3K games because I'm seeing it like night and day of late, and it's odd, and I think it would be worthwhile to people who are at 2K and below to consider. And I think I think I have some advice for people who are playing in those ranges that would be worthwhile to clawing out of those ranges.
Okay.
I am now more than ever an advocate for if you think you're stuck in that range to go start a new fucking account. Because it's god awful playing in some of those lower games. And I don't mean because people are people. I meet kind people. I meet good people. I meet good players in those lower skill matches. I know that there are good people in .p that are in those lower skill matches, but the level of toxicity is definitely higher, especially at the sub 2K range. It is exceptionally higher than it is in the 3K games.
Dude,
that is something I'm
getting heat stroke.
All right. If you guys want to find us, we're defenseofthepatients.com. Follow us on Twitter at @p_show. Go support us at Patreon. Patreon.com/defenseofthepatients. You guys are the only income that we currently have. We're working on that not being the case, but for now, that is still the case. There are a ton of great rewards. We didn't do any gushing today. Should we do a little gush real quick? You want to do one?
No, because it's disingenuous.
Okay, all right. It's disingenuous because right now Roland is dying and I'm about to die too.
I want to put my all into the gushes.
I feel you. I'm proud of you for wanting to do that. So tune in next week for some good gushing. You can also leave us a review on iTunes. We only have like 90 reviews, somewhere around 90, a little less maybe.
It'd be cool to hit the 100 mark on the reviews. It would be cool
to hit the 100 mark on the reviews. If you're listening to this show, if you're one of the few thousand people that tune into these shows, and you can't donate, and you can't, you don't shop on Amazon or any of that stuff that helps support the show, the one thing you can do that would be really helpful, and you can do it for free and gets the word out about the show, is go and support us on iTunes by leaving a review. Just gets a ton more visibility on the podcast, and we like reading those here on the show because you guys are all fucking hilarious most of the time. So
yeah, they're really usually pretty funny.
Yeah.
But if you're a dry, boring person, you can also leave a review and we'll read it.
Like Ursinity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god.
Ursinity's 4-star review.
Ursinity is definitely boring.
Ursinity's 4-star review was you random and ranked.
He's informative, but he's definitely not like he's not.
He's going to be a terrible teacher.
He's going to be the type of teacher where they're like, "Oh God, it's Mr. Holland's class. Here we go. He wants to talk about the American Civil War today. Do you want to just skip?" And they'll be like, "No,
you're not wrong."
Yeah,
yeah.
They'll be like, well, like, you're not wrong.
I love you, RC. I'm sorry. I know you're listening. I'm so sorry.
They'll be like, dude, I opened his drawer once and I saw this weird ass Korean stuff. I'm pretty sure it's pornos, dude. I'm not sure. I couldn't even read it, but I'm pretty sure Mr. Holland has pornos in his desk. And my mom is livid. And then Mr. Holland to the principal's office, Mr. Holland to the principal's office. We confiscated these from your drawer. What are these? That's my K-pop. It's like, sorry, hentai isn't allowed in the school. It's like, no, it actually has a lot of artful merit, okay? It's like, you're fired. And so goes Ursinity's life.
Speaking of Roland Damas.
Roland Damas.
Tune in Thursday for Theory Craft Thursdays with Proud Nursey. That show's great. Their last episode was funny. It was funny as fuck. I don't know if you got to hear it, but I laughed out loud on several occasions listening to that last show.
Me too, during those parts. They were funny.
I love those too. And of course, Breaky .pro with Breaky CPK coming up this Friday. And so yeah, keep an eye out for that. And Breaky always gets great guests, so I'm sure there'll be some awesome news there. All right, that's got to be it. Thank you guys for tuning in. Until next time, this is Cyphus for Roland saying good luck and Godspeed.